I'm here with Ellah Allfrey, an editor and a critic, very much involved with a number of prizes that deal with African literature. She's on the chair of the Council of the Caine Prize, patron of the new Ellah Prize, and also involved with the Commonwealth Prize, which is currently a short story prize. Ella is also a Fellow of the Arts, and in 2011 she received an OBE for her services to the publishing industry. Thanks very much for taking the time to talk to me, Ella. Tell me a little bit about some of the prizes that you're involved with and what you've done with actually with all of them.
Okay. Well, they all came about in different ways. I was an early fan of the Caine Prize, which has been around, I think this is its 15th year, and had been working as a publisher at the time, and so I used to go along to the symposia that they hold to meet the shortlisted candidates, and actually published one of the winners. I had commissioned a book of short stories by Segun Afolabi, who, before we published the book, won the Caine Prize, which was just brilliant. And I also published a novel by Brian Chikwava, who was a winner of the Caine Prize, and so I published his novel Harare North. And so I had an interest in it because it was a good place for me to find the kind of writers that I wanted to publish. And over the course of time, as my own professional life sort of shifted, I was asked to be a judge twice on the Caine Prize, which was just brilliant because it was a chance to read all of the entries. And after years of grumbling when the winner wasn't the person I'd chosen, I had got to sit in the seat and thankfully didn't have to listen to other people grumbling about the choices I'd helped make. Yeah. But, one of them was Novalet Bulawayo, whose book, which came out of her story We Need New Names, Hitting Budapest, has been now shortlisted for the Booker Prize. And so there are a lot of things about the prize that I really love, and over the years it's sort of focused and shifted and sort of grown in ways that I feel really proud of. And I think that, with any prize, especially one that's focusing on the work of a whole continent and its diaspora, there are always ways to improve it. And, it's a prize that encourages a lot of comment, internationally, especially now as folk all around the world are very sophisticated when it comes to social media, and when people are displeased with a short list or when they have things to say about a winner, it's very evident. And I think that that's always incredibly healthy, but it also means that it's much easier to see the continued relevance of the prize, because people don't talk about something that doesn't mean anything to them. So that's one. And for the Caine Prize, I'm deputy chair of the council, and so help to make decisions about the future of the prize, along with the colleagues on the council.
So with the Commonwealth Prize moving to short story, how does that conflict in any way with the Caine Prize, or how do you see these two prizes kind of working?
Well, the shift for the Commonwealth Prize, I think, is a really important one, and I can see that it's a big deal because the book prize has always been one that's looked to as one of the world's major book prizes, even though it focuses on the Commonwealth. That's a wide geographic range in itself. 54 countries, I think it is, across the globe, and so I can see that it's a change that may make people uneasy and wonder about the continued relevance of it. But I think it's a really good change. I think there's one, I'm very keen on anything that gives money to writers. I think, just as a blanket sort of statement, that it's good to recognise the work of writers and to create a space where the very best from whatever region you identify can be made to shine and to be brought to new readers. And I think what the change for the Commonwealth Prize means is that it allows the Commonwealth Foundation to, by focusing on the short story, to take some of the attention and the work that had gone into administering the book prize, which is really a lot of work. I think often one just sort of sees a short list and then a grand dinner with a winner announced, and isn't really aware of all of the work, all of the initial reading and the calling out of submissions that goes into it, and the work of the judges as well. And shifting the focus allows the Commonwealth Foundation to focus a lot more on promoting reading and writing and the work of the Commonwealth writers in a way that I find really encouraging. And the work that we have to do now is to make sure that the shortlist that we end up with does show the wealth of imagination and ability coming out of the Commonwealth, and to have a really worthy shortlist and a brilliant winner to convince people that it was the right decision. It's a challenge, and I'm very much looking forward to to helping achieve the very best for the prize.
And then you're also involved with the Etisalat Prize, which is also it's a new prize, that one.
Yes, this is one of those things where the request came in and I wasn't sure if I could take anything else on, but it's such a brilliant prize. It's a prize for a first novel by an African passport holder, so they're quite clear that it has to be somebody who holds a passport from an African country. And I think that there's a nice purse involved. There's a book tour of 3 African cities involved, and for many writers it'll be something, especially if they're being published on the continent, it'll provide exposure that they may not have had before. I mean, the shortlist has yet to be announced, so we don't know who's on the list. I'm not one of the judges. I'm just there in an advisory capacity. But a lot of work has gone into setting up this prize, and it has good corporate sponsorship, which is always very positive in terms of the endowment of a prize. And it's being administered out of Nigeria, and I think it'll provide sort of a brilliant platform to continue focusing on writing by Africans.
So do you think prizes are a very fundamental part of encouraging this sort of the growth in writing, as it were, in Africa?
Yes, I don't think it's the only thing. But I do think, for example, with the Caine Prize, I do think that the attention the winner has received each and every year, that the global attention they've received has made a difference, if only in that people see possibilities for themselves. And I think there's nothing wrong with a young writer wanting to be, being motivated by something like the money offered by a prize or the recognition offered by a prize, because in the end you still have to do the good work. You still have to write that good story. It's not something that you can get by talking your way into it or by wishing your way into it. There's still sort of, that in the end it comes down to that text being the very best that it can be and rising above, what other texts there are, being considered at the time. So I think that the prizes do make a difference, and they're important. I can't emphasize enough how important it is that writers are rewarded for their work. And there are many countries where the publishing industry isn't developed enough to offer the rewards that somebody publishing in England or France or the United States can afford. And these prizes are one of the few ways where a writer can actually, get that kind of recognition and I guess, I hesitate to say compensation, but money, to put it bluntly, for their work. And if it opens up possibilities for lots of young writers and makes them aim high, makes them ambitious and makes them, want to be better so they can achieve those goals, whichever prize we're talking about, I think it can only be a good thing.